everyone, welcome to day 5. I do have some helpers here today because we're doing the haltering today, and I want to be able to leave the halter on him, and if mum decides to go for a big bolt in a big paddock, it's too hard to deal with, so I'm going to leave her haltered with a handler. So this is a good thing for you guys if you have a mare that's Bindi. Everyone wants to be in shot today. Stay there. Don't lean on me. Good boy. Good boy. So yeah, I don't want him going for a bolt around the paddock with a halter on. Now, I did promise you that did say that I was going to get a halter. A halter that fits him, but every halter I own that's a foal halter doesn't go anywhere near fitting his head. He's got a big head, and so we're going to use that. I'm going to use the one that I had yesterday and just try it on a little tighter, and you'll see me check. The only worry you've got with a loose fitting halter is that there's nothing if you can catch them on in here. Our fences are really safe, but he can actually, as he goes to scratch his ear or something, he can catch his back leg or even front leg in it. So we just need to make sure it's tight enough. They can do that in a webbing halter, they can do it in a well-fitting halter, so that's why we never leave a halter on a young foal in a yard by themselves or out in the paddock by themselves. I don't believe in doing that. If we do everything that we've done thus far, you should be able to have your foal come straight up to you. It's not a matter of needing to catch them, they catch you every time. So doing this work negates the issue of having to leave a halter on a horse. Boy, now it's been pouring rain here, so we're really, really wet. The other thing I can't get done today, but I will do at a later date, is the float loading, because I cannot get float into this paddock without getting bogged. That little man. So I will do the float loading with him at a later stage, but I promise I will show you how to do that. So he's just putting that in his mouth again. I'm not going to rouse on him for that at this stage. I want him to explore and be playful. Pop it over his nose. Good boy. Remember, if he steps back, I step him forward. Good, he's better at that today. Do a little pirouette. And again, already he's starting to come off the feel of that halter there. Good boy. Good boy. Just ask him to stand up while I do that up. And he's just playing with that feel. It takes a little bit for them to get used to having something on their face when they've never had it before. Good boy. As soon as he stands still, we'll get this done up. Here we go. Good boy. Now you'll see here I've got a really long tail. We don't want to leave that. Again, that's a loop that a foot could get caught in, and you can see how he wants to. He's eating there. That's so cute. Got no teeth, but I'll eat. You can see how he wanted to paw and stuff, and that's when they can get their foot caught in it. Not a drama while I'm here because I can deal with it. But if he was alone in a paddock, he could literally break his neck or his leg if that was to happen. So with that, I just wind that round under his chin. Good boy. Until there's nothing left of it, and then I don't have to worry about that. Bring him forward again. So now that I've got the halter on, thank you, mate. He's rubbing because he's wet. He's just had a big rain shower on him, so he's soaking wet. Stop being a pain. Good boy. On my foot. Good man. Alright, so now that I've got the halter on, I can start asking him to yield to that feel. So if I pick that, good boy, pick that halter up and yield that side, I'm going to swap sides. Remember I said the other day I'll swap behind him in preparation for our riding career. If I can get him to stand up today. He's leaning badly, there we go. Don't lean on me. Swap sides behind him in preparation for riding. Take the halter, ask him to come to the field. He's beautiful and light. There we go. So he had a little tug of war with me there, but I'm not pulling against him, I'm going with him. There's only a little tiny bit of weight on that halter. There's my lick and shoe that I've been talking about. Even the babies do it. Again, because that wasn't as pretty as the other side, I'm just going to pick that up again, ask him to yield to that pressure, come with the halter, and wait. There, boy. And again, ask him to yield. Beautiful, that was a whole lot better. Good boy. All right. Just going to let him free for a second, give him a little scratch. Now, when I'm attaching the lead rope, and I'm not going to pull him around with this, I'm not going to lead him around yet because he's too young to do too much leading with, but I will do yielding, and they're two very different things. Good boy. So here I'm just asking him to yield from the side. There, good boy. He goes backwards, I'm going to go backwards with him. If he goes forward, I'm absolutely going to go forward with him. Yield him away from me there with the halter, good boy. So you can see we're starting to, I'm working with him. So Ray Hunt said we start by working with the horse and the horse starts to work with us and then we start to work together. Again, if he chucks a wobbly going backwards, I'm not going to hang on tight. I don't want him to learn to pull. I'm going to ask again to step across. Here. Step across. Good boy. There we go. Good boy. And back to me. Good boy. And forward. Good man. Good boy. Now we're getting somewhere. Good boy. Across, always laterally, all right? I'm not dragging him forward. If he steps forward, I go with him. Always moving him laterally. There. There, good boy. I give when he comes with me. Good boy. This way. Good boy. If he steps forward, I just go with him. Ooh. Pop the bum rope on to bring him up. I want to show you how I do use the lead rope on the young foal. Good boy. Good boy. He's starting to get good at that. All right. Again, my long rope with nothing on it, and all I'm going to do is pop it through the halter and hang on to it like this. If anything happens, I just let that end go and it comes out, all right? So if a car goes past and scares everybody and he needs to run, I just hold on to the long bit and that just slides out and he's free, all right? Again, I'm all about safety. I don't want to have the horse pull back on the end of this and flip over and hurt themselves at this age. Eventually he will learn not to pull back, but right now if he's under pressure, the last thing I want to do is hang on to him. So we're working on his timeline again, time for a drink. And while he's having a drink, I'll just talk to you about when you first, all of this preparation of leading a horse online prepares the horse for when we put a proper lead rope clipped on, and that's the point where we don't want to lose them. I do that at about 2 weeks old, all right? Their neck muscles are a whole lot stronger. There's a whole lot less risk of hurting them if they do flip out a little bit, and they do. You will have a horse pull back on you at some stage. If something happens or, you know, they get fried or whatever, they will pull back at some stage. What you need to remember is with foals, I want to work laterally, that is, side to side. If a horse starts going straight backwards, I'm going to go to one side and ask it to come that side. And you'll see the reason for that is because foals are still very, well, they're not fragile, they're pretty tough, but I don't want that halter over the top of his pole doing any damage to that young head. So pulling forward puts a massive amount of pressure on the halter at the pole. Pulling sideways puts the pressure on the side of the face, the jaw, which is a whole lot more strong and less likely to be injured. So always go to one side if your horse freaks out. Same thing when I'm teaching a young foal. When I do clip that lead rope on for a permanent lead to come forward, I don't teach it forward straight away. I teach it to step just exactly like I was and ask him to step. One way, come with me, one way, come with me. As soon as he starts walking forward, I go with him, and he very quickly learns that that's a good thing because there's no pressure on him while he's walking forward. So he's going to get really used to this, this halter. I did have one of the other halters on him late yesterday afternoon, so he has had one tied onto his face, but it was just too tight and too small. I didn't like the fit of it, so this one's a whole lot roomier for his big head. Alright, so lead rope's back on. You can see I've got a short, long. The short I'm hanging on to gently. Just trying to get his attention there. Alright, stay there, I'll come down. You want to play with that lead rope, don't you? There we go. Good boy. Don't forget, do both sides. We don't want a one-sided baby.
I've got thumbs on.
There you go. He's doing a pretty nice job there of staying within that halter. Good boy. Alright, here's our first little bit of resistance. So I hold, but I don't pull, and then as soon as he gave, you saw I gave. Again, ask. It's lay down time. Ask. There. I want him to come towards me forward. So I'm going to quit when he comes forward to me and not before. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Good man. So when we're moving, I'll just do that again. When we're moving our horse there, see how that time he stepped forward and towards me? That's what I want, not backwards and towards me, because that's not working with me, it's working against me. Good boy. And find the reward. He loves a scratch. So the reward for him coming to me and yielding to that pressure is the scratch. He's a lick of the lips. Pop my bum rope on him here to help him. He's getting into a little bit of a habit of going backwards. So I'm just going to encourage him to come forward. So I'm going to ask gently to one side again and then ask beautiful. Good boy. Of course, he certainly knows the bum rope, so this helps him learn off the halter as well. He was starting to create a bad habit of not coming forward. Good boy. not coming forward, so I pop the bum rope on, fix that habit before it becomes too much of a big deal. And there he's coming forward really well. Good boy. Again, job's done. He's calm, he's relaxed, he's responsive. So that's the end of that session. I'm gonna pop the wrap back on him though. Not too much in that, he's doing that more. You can see he's not really into having a drink, he's doing it more as avoidance. So I'm just going to back him up from there, get his attention. Getting yielding, doing that neck yield again. So there's our reining horse, already established. Stand there. That was little Miss Luna, who you all know loves to be in the shot. Beautiful. He's got those shoulder yields off fabulously. Good boy. Posing for the camera perfectly. Good boy. He looks great in his little halter. So I'm going to take that halter off now. You can see he's really used to it. I'm just going to use it to spin him around again. Good boy. Perfect. Now again, important how I take it off, what I do when I take it off. Not allowed to push on me, little man. I don't want him to react. If I get any sort of negative reaction while I'm taking the halter off, I'm going to put it back on and do it again. Yeah, he's yielding to that really nicely. Luna, seriously? That's all right, she's all right. There we go, really nice. He didn't do a damn thing when I took that off, so I can leave that off. Don't lean on me. There we go. Take my rope off. Luna out of picture. Did say I was going to use you, not today, Missy Moo. And he's just over. The really cool thing about having the mare standing still is he can explore the rope on her. So if he gets his neck, caught over that rope, he can learn, and he's playing with, he's putting his mouth, which is a good thing. He can learn to yield off that. Just pop it over his head. Learn to yield off that and learn that if, for example, if you had to tie the mare up, just give him scratching. He'll stand still if he's scratching. If you have to tie the mare up at any stage, you don't have to worry about the horse getting stuck in that lead rope that she's tied up in, because if he leans on that in his chest, he's used to the foal wrap, so he's used to coming off it, and if he gets into his face and pushes on it, he won't panic. He's so used to that already. So another good reason why we want horses to learn to yield really well to pressure. Good boy. Alright, so I'm just going to give him a 10-minute break. It is lay down time, so we're going to stop the video, give him a 10-minute break because he's been up now for quite a little while, and you can see he's starting to get snoozy. When we come back, I'm just going to pop the halter on again, and I'm going to show you the vet prep. So we've done our picking up of our feet, and I want to show you how we prepare a horse for having a vet go over it. Alright, so I'll see you soon. Alright, we're back. And I have iodine hands. So while he was asleep, I noticed he had a little bit of gunk on his umbilical, which I haven't treated since a couple of the day was born and the day after he was born. A little bit of gunk on it, so I thought I'd iodine it. He actually had a bit of a reaction to that, which is perfect, because we said before the break that I was going to do vet prep, which is exactly what this sort of stuff is all about. We weren't quick enough to get the video on, but I'm going to go through the whole process again, and he'll probably make a liar of me now, but he was a little bit reactive when I touched that umbilical. They can get a little bit sore. It's open sort of woundish, if you like, so they can get a little bit sore. But so for this, I'm not using the foal. I've popped the foal wrap on him just to get him to stand here with me, and you can see he's cocked his leg now. So where we finished just earlier, when he did have the bit of a reaction, we finished in a really good spot, so he's in a good place now. He was very easy to catch again, so he wasn't too bothered by it. I'm not going to use the foal wrap because I'm going to use my hands, because it's too hard to juggle the foal wrap and try and touch his umbilical. So Jade's going to have to be really quick with the video because he'll probably move around a bit, but you'll see how what I'm waiting for, as with everything that we do with a foal, is we're waiting for him to not react anymore. I'm waiting for him to calm to the touch of me touching that. Even if it is a sore spot, I should be okay to touch it without too much of an issue. If he lifts his leg and switches his tail, that's fine. I'm not going to rouse on that because it is a sore spot for him. But if he takes off backwards or forwards, which is what he did before, I'm going to have to stay with him and hold him until I can get him to stand still. So I'm going to drop the foal wrap. Good boy. And I'm just going to reach under, touch the umbilical. There, that's not too bad considering what he was doing before. As soon as he calms, I take my hand away. All right, before he bolted backwards and didn't want me to touch it. There we go, kicking out it, and that's fine. That's fair enough. He's saying, hey, I don't want you to do that. That's perfectly fine. I want a horse to tell me when they're sore, and I'm only just lightly touching it, which is probably more of a tickle than anything else. But I'm waiting for him to calm a little bit. My hand's just in front of the umbilical there. There, take it away. Good boy. And of course, we didn't get the whole video when he was backing up and being a bit of a doofus, but he just backed away for quite a bit and wanted to get away from me. I just had to hang with him until he was okay with it. There we go. And he's getting better each time. You'll notice I do it a few times until he can go, yep, all right. Ballet dancer, mate. There we go. Now I'm going to swap sides, make sure I can do it equally as well on the other side. I am right-handed, so this is not going to be as easy for me. Again, that's a pretty good reaction. That's an acceptable reaction for something that he doesn't want me to touch because he's not pulling away. Alright, so the other thing I'm going to do with vet prep, obviously when we imprinted, I'll just pop the wrap back on for this one. When we imprinted, we touched him everywhere. You saw me touch his ears, the bottom of his feet. I can pick his feet up with no issue at all now. And get my wrap right. Here we go. I should be able to pick his tail up. If he clamps it down, I'm just going to stay there until he relaxes it. There we go. It's nice and relaxed. Good boy. Again. No, and because he was imprinted, he's really nice and soft with that. I want to be able to touch him under there, even put my finger in his bottom, not in his bottom, but on his bottom a little bit, make sure he's okay to have his temperature taken. So the other thing is we need to prepare them for needling. Loads and loads of horses have issues, loads of people have issues with needling. I don't want my baby to have issues with needling, so I prepare them, and I'll show you how to do that. I do it on the side that the vets like to work. They love to work on the onside, so I prepare the horse to be needled on the onside. I do the offside as well, but not quite as much because the vets prefer to work on this side because most of them are right-handed. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch him hard on the neck, like a needle. And I'm going to stay with him. That's hurting. I'm pinching the skin until he goes still, and then I take my hand off. Exactly the same as everything else I've done. Pinch again really hard, so I'm actually hurting his skin there. That's a better result because what he did was he bent his head around to me, and what that does in a full-size horse when we're needling them, if you're doing intramuscular, a horse if it pulls its head away from you and tightens that muscle, it can actually spit the needle out. And some of you probably had issues with horses spitting bent needles out. I know I have. So I want him, good boy, to yield towards me. Hold, hold, hold. My foal wrap is going, I'm going with him. Cindy. I'll just stop there and get her out of the way. You can just move that around this side a little bit. So I'm pinching really hard there. There he bends back towards me, I quit. He's really not reacting to the pinch much at all. Good boy. Again, pick the skin up, pinch really hard there. If he yields towards me, I quit. If a horse bends towards me while I'm trying to needle it, the muscles in the neck go soft and it makes it that much less painful for the horse and easier for us to pop the needle in. So I want the horse yielding towards me when I'm popping the needle in. Good boy. So the only other thing I prepare a foal for, you know, he's really easy to touch his ears. We've done all of that with him and his face. The only thing I haven't really done is put my fingers. Now, a bit yucky, tasting a bit yucky today, so he probably won't like them. But I do like to just pop my thumb in the side of their mouth. Stay with him until he relaxes. There, I'll start with that. Put my thumb just in the side of his mouth till he opens, relaxes, take my hand away. Same process as before. Good boy. Right there. Put my hand under there, thumb into the mouth. Wait till he relaxes. Good boy, take it out. Good man. One more time. Thumb into his mouth. There we go. Sticking his tongue out now. He's accepting that really nicely. Good boy. Right there. That's it. So even though he's a pretty big foal, he's really quite easy to handle. He's getting stronger every day, but he's quite easy to do everything with, and that's what I would fully expect from an imprinted foal. You'll have your issues, you'll have them chuck their wobblies, but we really do have a fairly easy foal to handle here. I'm going to do another day of training with him tomorrow and show you the lead rope on him again, because tomorrow he's going to be that much better at it. And we've had a couple of really wet, rainy days where I haven't been able to get a lot done with him. Good boy. There we go. So that's where I finish. Good man. When he's yielding around to me and really connected to me, I finish, step out of his space, let him go back to his mum. He'll go straight back and suckle. So he's just had a pretty cool little learning experience, and of course he's gone back to suckle to get confident with mum. You can, yeah, let her go, thanks. So pretty much everything that we need to do with a foal at this age is done. If I need to transport him anywhere, I don't need to put a halter on him to lead him. I'm going to use my foal wrap, all right, because that keeps their little necks and faces safe. He's really good at yielding now on that foal wrap, so he keeps every part. That keeps every part of him safe. He's prepared for the vet. Walking forward onto a ramp is going to be the next thing. As I said, we can't do this because it's too wet today. We've had a lot of rain, and I'll get the float in, but I probably won't get it out. So I'm just going to do that at another stage when it dries out a little bit, and I'll add that to the series for you. Because he's really good at coming forward in the foal wrap now, stepping onto the float with his mum is not going to be an issue. You'll see he'll look at the float at the ramp and he'll probably put his feet on it, but he'll step in pretty confidently because he knows what that forward movement means in the foal wrap. We've done vet prep, we've picked up his feet, we've opened his mouth, we've lifted his tail. Everything that you need to be doing, you can do now with your foal, and that literally for a 5-day foal is all we need to do. From here on in, pretty much everything I do is just repetitive, just checking it out, making sure it's okay, and starting to play a little bit with him. So when he's wanting a scratch, I'm going to ask him to come with me for the scratch. I'm going to work with him at liberty a little bit with no ropes and teach him that, I'm fun to be around. All the teaching is done now, it's just playing with it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is a course specifically designed for brand new foals that you can get your hands on before they're up and walking, straight after they're born. A different process is involved in a course where the foal hasn't been handled and you need to get your hands on a horse that's already, a baby that's already scared. That's a different process. I will do another video series as soon as I can get my hands on an unhandled foal for you. But this is specifically for a horse that you have imprinted and you've been able to get to the day it's born. So I hope you join us for the whole journey for Mr. Gangster. He's going to be a big boy and he's going to be a whole lot of fun to teach. So I'm going to try and keep everybody updated on his journey and all the things that we do with him, and do little training sessions fairly regularly with him for you guys to watch. So I appreciate you joining the course. Thank you for your donation to Last Chance Corral. We're really excited about being able to help them out saving foals. As you can see, they're well worth it. They're beautiful to be around, and to save the ones that have been destined to slaughter is a really important thing for me to be able to do, having a wing now. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.